Well, hello there. The mounts in Neverwinter are going to be changing very soon. I think my voice just cracked there. Pretend you didn't hear that. Neverwinter's mount system is being reworked to have some new things added, and a bunch of stuff is being changed. So I'm going to try to explain everything in the best way that I can with the information that I have, which also happens to be the same information that you have. Well, anyways, I guess we'll just dive right into it. Let's talk about the more general stuff first, being like the Zen Store Changes and then lockbox adjustment, and then we'll actually go over the specifics of the mount changes in a second. So first things first, they are changing some things around in the Zen Store. They are reducing the cost of epic mounts to be 1500 Zen instead of 3500 Zen, which is a quite large price drop. I think like, oh god, I can't math, but it's like 60% drop, I think. 65, something like that. You know, math sucks. It's gonna be a lot cheaper, and they are still account-wide before you ask. Now next, the companions, epic companions, have also been reduced to 1500 Zen, and they will now be account-wide reclaims, just like the mounts are. So, if you buy a companion, you will be able to get it on all your characters. And this should apply retroactively, meaning that purchases that you've made in the past when you bought companions, you should be able to reclaim those companions on your alts. But it's not going to apply to every companion that's on the Zen Store. Basically, it's going to apply to all the ones that are there all the time, but it does not apply to the limited time event ones like the Alpha Compy or ones that have been removed from the Zen Store or the ones that are not sold anymore, basically. And also, because you can claim them account-wide, you don't get a bonding runestone with them anymore, which honestly is not that big of a deal because rank 7 bonding runestones are not worth very much anyways. Most people start with rank 9s, I think. So yeah, next we're going to talk about lockboxes because everyone has a love-hate relationship with lockboxes. Because people like gambling, but they don't like losing, right? So some good news that, I mean, if you look deeper into it, is not that good of news, but it's still good news nonetheless, is that legendary mounts are now over 3 times more likely to drop from lockboxes, which sounds like, oh yay, 3 times better chance, but then in reality the chance of you getting a legendary mount from a lockbox was like 0.15% before on average, and so 3 times that would put it at 0.45, and it says over 3 times, so we're just going to go ahead and say that it'll be about 0.5% chance, which puts your odds at not that good. But it is still a lot better than it was before, so I don't really see a point in complaining about it because it's an improvement regardless. Okay, now let's talk about the thing you actually clicked on this video for, and that is actual changes to mounts. So, very first thing, mount speed is being changed so that there are only 2 mount speeds, and you won't unlock speeds anymore from getting a higher quality mount. So basically, you'll just have 2 speeds, one called Gallop, which is the 140%, the current legendary mount speed, and then one called Trot, which is the slowest mount speed, 50%, which was suggested as being for role-playing and parades around the Enclave. And everyone will have these, you won't have to unlock them, so everyone's gotta go fast. And then, like I said, different quality mounts are not going to give you higher movement speeds anymore. You won't be able to upgrade the movement speed at all. It's just kind of something that's just there now. Now, before you all freak out, there's a lot of other changes that are coming to mounts that will make the higher ranked ones more valuable. So, although people are not going to want legendary mounts for the speed bonus anymore, they're still going to want them for other reasons. Now, next up, probably the most important thing that everyone already knew, but Cryptic tried to pretend like everybody didn't already know, and that's that mythic mounts are here. But they're not here in the way you would expect. They're here because you can upgrade mounts now. Just like you can upgrade companions from, you know, white, common rank to all the way to legendary, you can do the same thing with mounts. And they can be upgraded from common all the way to mythic. And to upgrade these, it will cost mount upgrade tokens, which you can get from the Zen Market, the Trade Bar Store, and certain events like Hell Pit. I don't know how much these are going to cost because, like I said, I don't have that much information right now. I'm hoping that it's going to come to preview or something soon so that I can have a look and give you guys more updated and better information. But as of right now, I can only give you with the information that I have. Moving right along, every mount is going to have 3 insignia slots regardless of the quality that it is. Because, there were those baby insignia bonuses that you would get from mounts that only had 2 insignia slots, but now every mount is going to have 3, and then every mount will have a passive and combat power, and those will scale up as the mount increases in quality. Passive being, the stat bonus one, and then combat power, the one that you use in combat that only legendary mounts had before. However, the legendary mount powers are still going to retain their value, because none of the other mounts had a combat power. And all the mounts that didn't have a combat power before will now just have one of the 3 generic ones. And those generic ones are either single target damage, AoE damage, or a self-heal over time. So that will cover pretty much the majority of mounts in the game. And then all of the legendary ones will still have that unique value. Going back to passive powers for a second, they were reworked to be a higher item level and give more stats. So, you're going to be getting more stats. They also are going to contribute a large portion of their stats to combined rating, which if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a value that is then added to every single one of your stats. And this will help players gear up and balance stats more easily. And instead of, if you got one that has like 10,000 crit on it, and you only needed, 2,000 more crit to hit the cap. Yes, in this situation, you would get it from other sources, but just heed my example, okay? And so you would have that extra 8,000 crit that is useless. In this case, it would be a lot less likely to do that just because of the whole combined rating and then getting values to all the stats. Passive powers themselves are still going to be like the plus X2 stats or HP or, stamina gain or whatever they were before, as far as I'm aware, but the actual stat values themselves will be increased, and then they will increase further as you upgrade the mount to higher qualities. It's also important to note that the insignia slots that a mount has don't change as it's upgraded, so if you've got one that has 2 enlightened and a crescent, that's not going to change. They're not going to change into universal or anything once you upgrade to legendary or mythic. So this is another reason why legendary mounts are still going to be valuable. I'm reiterating this because just by having a look at all the information we've been given, it seems like that would be a concern of a lot of people, like, oh, this legendary mount's not going to be valuable anymore, or, something like that. So I feel like it's important to point that out. Now, next up is something called Mount Bolster. Now, if you're familiar with companions at all, you will know that sounds familiar because companions have a bolster where the top 5 highest quality give a percentage, and then you get extra stats based on the percentage and the quality of your other companions. So, bolster for mounts will be similar, but instead of it being just 5, it'll be your 10 highest quality mounts will add together to form the bolster, and the bolster itself will increase your mount's passive and combat powers to up to double their base effectiveness. So that means that if you had your passive power that gave you 5k power, which you wouldn't if you had all mythic mounts, but in this situation, if you had a passive power that gave you 5k power, and then you had the highest possible bolster, which from my understanding is 100% with all mythic mounts, which will take forever to obtain and be expensive to obtain and all that. But anyways, it would be 10k power because it's 100% more. That's what I was getting at. And like I said, mythic mounts, I believe, will be a 10% bolster. I have not seen that anywhere, but I've seen people saying that, so it's quite possible that I'm just blind and I didn't see it. But I do know that the legendary mounts give a 5% bolster, so it's feasible to make that assumption that it will be 10%. Okay, one last major thing, and then there's one more slightly less major thing, but it's still pretty important because it's free, and everyone likes free things. But first, I think it's very important that we talk about mount collars, which are something completely new to Neverwinter that has not existed before, and you can basically think of it as gear for your mounts. It's not a visual thing as far as I can assume, because I imagine it would be pretty difficult to kind of like animate a collar on a whirlwind or a pair of boots. So I think it's just kind of, you know, a name and an item. But anyways, these collars that you can equip will benefit your utility stats. Now, by utility stats, I'm kind of making another assumption that it's going to be things like XP, gold bonus, glory bonus, and stuff. But if you actually look at the utility stats in the game, there are quite a lot. Action points, recharge speed, companion influence, movement speed, incoming and outgoing healing, stamina regen, critical severity, and damage boosts are all in there too. So there's definitely going to be, assuming this applies to all utility slots and it's not the standard ones like XP, gold, glory, movement speed, and HP. Although I don't think HP is technically a utility stat. I just think of it as one because there's the Energon companion that goes in your utility slot that gives you a lot of HP. But anyways, these collars are going to drop in dungeons. They're base ranked 1. And then you'll be able to upgrade them from common all the way to mythic, just like you can do mounts. Now, you can only equip a collar on a mount that is the same or lower quality as the mount itself. For example, you wouldn't be able to equip a mythic collar on an epic mount in your stable, for example. And you can have 5 of these equipped at once. I feel like that's important to notice because it goes by the mounts you have in your stable, so you can have up to 5. Now, these collars will come in different types. I don't know what these types are, but you can only benefit from one of each at a time, so it would be best to have all 5 types, one of each type, in order to get the most out of them. So that makes me wonder if there's only going to be 5 utility stats that are boosted. And I hope one of them is outgoing healing, and I hope another one is critical severity. But I don't know. Do not take my word as fact. I have no evidence or any reason to think that that is the case. It's just my own opinion and my own hopes. So, in order to upgrade these collars, you will need Stones of Empowerment and Greater Stones of Empowerment, and these will also drop from dungeons themselves. The regular stones can drop from just the different creatures that you kill. I'm not sure if this applies to only in dungeons or if they can drop elsewhere in everywhere, just like insignias can. Not entirely sure about that one, but I do know that the Greater Stones of Empowerment drop from the chests in the Epic Dungeons and Trials. So there's going to be something else to get in dungeons and upgrade, and basically there's a whole bunch more stuff to do and upgrade on your character before it will be considered maxed. Which would be 10 mythic mounts, and that's kind of a long ways away for the majority of people. Anyways, there's one last thing to talk about, and that is a free pack that is coming to a Reclaim agent near you as soon as these changes go live. There's not a date for this yet. The blog post suggests that it is coming soon. Now, how soon is soon, I don't know, but you can't really say something soon if it's not within the next month, so probably within the next month. Anyways, when these changes go live, everyone can claim one of these packs once per account, and in there, you will find 75 mount upgrade tokens, 1 free epic mount collar choice pack, 150 stones of empowerment, 50 greater stones of empowerment, and 1 100% off companion coupon. So you'll be able to get 1 free companion for your whole account with it. Also, as far as mount upgrade tokens go, it's going to be expensive, and I know this because there's a screenshot in the blog that says upgrading from legendary to mythic will cost 200. So if we are to make some assumptions here, it's not a good idea for me to make assumptions, but I would like to think that upgrading to legendary will be 100 tokens, upgrading to epic would be 50, and upgrading to rare would be 25, and then upgrading to uncommon would be like 10 or something. That could be completely wrong. It might be 150, 150, 100, but, I hope it's the cheaper option. Okay, and I think that is everything I wanted to cover. I think I actually articulated this video very well. Unfortunately, I don't have much in the way of visuals to show you because these changes are not on preview or anything like that at the moment, so I can't show them off to you the way I would have liked to. Hopefully, like I said, I can do that soon and give you some more updated information as well, which I will certainly do. I'll make another video whenever the time comes about what the types of collars are, what stats are on them, the new stats on the, not the collars, the new passive powers on the mounts, the new combat powers, see if those are any good, and yeah, I think that's it. That was a lot of talking for me, but I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least got some sort of informative information out of it. Please give me a thumb to add to my thumb collection if you did enjoy this video. That's something I've not said in a while, and my thumb collection is dwindling pretty low, so I need to add some more to that. And also, you should definitely join my Discord if you haven't, because why not? Anyways, I think I'm gonna leave now. I hope you enjoyed watching whatever it was I decided to put up on the screen while you were listening to me rant and talk and spout words out of my brain hole. But I'm gonna leave, so I'll see you guys later. Have a great night, evening, morning, afternoon, bath, I don't know, whatever it is you're doing right now. I'ma leave. Okay, bye.